Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into Pavilion Mont Kiara. That's a luxury residential development aiming for completion in 2027, right in KL's Mont Kiara area.
Yep, a very prestigious enclave.
Exactly. And the big question we're tackling is, does this project really live up to its urban resort promise, especially, when you factor in the everyday realities of Kuala Lumpur life?
Right. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key insights for you, whether you're thinking of living there yourself as an owner-occupier or maybe looking at it as an investment.
Yeah.
It promises this urban resort lifestyle. You've got a whole range of units from apartments around 1,000 square feet up to these massive penthouses over 6,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
And even some exclusive private villas. Plus, it's all freehold. And interestingly, it's really low density for Mont Kiara, about 109 units per acre.
So urban resort lifestyle, that's the hook. But okay, beyond just the size of the apartments, what specific things make Pavilion Mont Kiara feel, luxury?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is the huge list of facilities, proper five-star stuff.
Like what?
We're talking a 50-meter lap pool, a golf simulator.
Oh, nice.
Whole floor dedicated to wellness, gym, sauna. And this is key, I think, the signature Pavilion concierge services.
Ah, the concierge. That does add a certain touch.
It does. And this whole commitment to luxury, it isn't just talk. It's kind of backed up by its Green RE certification.
Green RE? What's that exactly?
It's Malaysia's main green building rating.
Yeah.
So it's not just a sticker, right? It signals potentially better long-term value, maybe lower utility bills because it's designed efficiently, and just a healthier place to live. That's quite insightful for both owners and investors looking beyond just the shiny surfaces.
Okay, that makes sense. But even the swankiest place is affected by its neighborhood. Let's talk Mont Kiara, the good bits, and importantly, the downsides.
Sure. So Mont Kiara itself, it's very cosmopolitan, hugely popular with expats.
Right. The schools are a big draw here.
Definitely. You've got top international schools right there, like Mont Kiara International, Garden International, plus tons of shopping, restaurants nearby. It's convenient in that sense.
But I sense a but coming.
But, yeah. While getting there by car, via the highways, is okay on paper. The traffic in the area, it's notorious. Residents often call it a nightmare.
A nightmare. Oof. That sounds like a massive daily headache. Is there anything like shuttle services from the development or plans for better public transport nearby? Or is it just accept the traffic?
As far as the sources show, it's very car dependent right now. No mention of specific shuttles tied to Pavilion or any, immediate public transport fixes on the horizon. It really is a significant factor you'd have to weigh up.
That's a really crucial point for daily life there. Okay, let's switch tracks a bit. Let's talk money. What's the deal with the pricing at Pavilion Mont Kiara? What stands out?
Well, it launched at a pretty high price point. We're looking at RM 1,200 to RM 1,300 per square foot.
Right. How does that compare?
Yeah, significantly higher than its direct predecessor, Pavilion Hilltop, which was more around RM 985 per square foot. So quite a jump.
And the ongoing costs? Maintenance.
Ah, yes. Critically for investors, the proposed maintenance fee is RM 0.55 per square foot.
55 cents. So for a basic 1,000 square foot place, that's
RM 550 a month.
Yeah.
Over $6,000 a year, just on maintenance.
Wow.
And that high ongoing cost, it's definitely going to squeeze the net rental yields, meaning if you're investing, your return is probably going to rely more on the property value going up over time rather than immediate rental income.
Okay, high entry, high maintenance. Good to know. And behind the fancy Pavilion name, who's actually running this, is the developer solid?
That's an interesting point. While the Pavilion brand itself is obviously very strong, carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, people know the name.
Exactly. But the actual legal developer is an indirect subsidiary of WCT Holdings Berhad.
WCT Holdings, okay.
Well, WCT has faced some financial scrutiny. They carry quite substantial borrowings, and they have a severe ESG risk rating.
ESG, environmental social governance, right. What does a severe rating mean here?
It flags potential concerns, yeah. Could be related to their environmental impact, social policies, or how the companies run. For an investor, it just adds another layer of, let's say, developer risk. It's something to be aware of, could potentially affect things down the line, maybe project timelines, or even the quality after handover.
Okay, so putting it all together, if you're thinking of living there, being an owner-occupier,
right,
you get this amazing lifestyle, the prestige, you're super close to those great schools, but you absolutely have to balance that against, well, the daily grind of that nightmare traffic and, frankly, a pretty high total cost of ownership when you factor in that maintenance fee. Imagine doing school run twice a day in that congestion.
Exactly. Now, flipping it to the investor angle, it's definitely a blue-chip brand, no doubt. It targets that high-income expat tenant market, which is good, and there's clear potential for the value to increase long-term.
But the immediate cash flow isn't the main play here.
Probably not. Because of the high entry price and those significant maintenance fees we talked about,
Yeah.
it leans more towards capital appreciation, although those specific dual key units they offer, the Type F1.
Dual key? Like two separate entrances?
Yeah, essentially two self-contained living spaces under one title. That does offer some unique flexibility. Maybe renting out both parts separately or living in one and renting the other could help maximize the rental income a bit.
Interesting. So really what it boils down to for you, the potential buyer or investor, is this calculation. Luxury versus practicality. Lifestyle versus, well, trade-offs.
Right. The fundamental question you need to ask yourself is, how much do you personally value that brand new 5-star urban resort experience? Is it worth it compared to maybe an existing luxury property nearby that might give you more space for the money, or maybe crucially, a commute that isn't quite such a battle every day?
A tough calculation indeed. We really hope this deep dive gives you the insights you need to make a truly informed decision for yourself.